So let's talk a little bit about the misconduct that's happened. I'm going to go with Officer Josue Azala.
Yep.
From Milwaukee. Charged with one count of misdemeanor attempted misconduct in public office. We'll get to the fact, I don't know how he's charged with so little of a crime. He ran his partner's license plate 124 times in the flock database.
Yep.
And his partner's ex 55 times.
Yep.
Before anyone discovered what was going on. What does that say about the accountability of like the misuse of the system, that he could do it 180 times before he gets caught?
So the most important thing is that Josue Ayala wasn't caught by Flock or the city of Milwaukee. So both like to talk about the local auditing and safeguard systems that they have. The reason why Ayala got caught was the partner previously or had the inclination that Ayala was stalking her, and she ran her license plate on this website called Have I Been Flocked Before? And then alerted law enforcement. So Milwaukee Police Department or Flock didn't catch him. So God knows if she didn't do that search herself, God knows how long he could have gotten away with doing these searches on her and hers, I believe, another person affiliated with her before being caught. And the other thing that I want to point out is, imagine how many people, specifically romantic interests of law enforcement, how many women are currently being stalked who doesn't know that the Have I Been Flocked website exists. It doesn't have the foresight to search their license plate to catch the officer who's stalking them. And I think that's the important thing, is that Ayala's he's probably not special, or the other two officers in Wisconsin. It's just that we don't have the mechanism and the infrastructure and the proper transparency and auditing systems to catch the other officers who are abusing the system.
All right, well, let's talk about another one real quick. So Greenfield Police Chief Jay Johnson, facing felony charges for ordering the installation. Now, this isn't Flock, but it's the misuse of surveillance technology. Ordering the installation of police surveillance cameras outside his home during divorce proceedings with his wife. And then he just recently, not too long ago, picked up new charges for destroying evidence after wiping his city-owned phone remotely. So what kind of accountability could there be for their surveillance technology when the chief of police is the one misusing it?
And that's the thing. He's not special either. There's been multiple police chiefs that have been charged with misusing surveillance technology to stalk people. And that goes back to the point that I talked about earlier, is that surveillance technology, the information that it can provide an individual, is the equivalent of information that is biblical proportion. And we're asking officers from everyday beat cops to deputies to police chiefs to have the self-control to wrangle in their own personal ambition. And I think that's a disservice to the officers themselves, because police officers at the end of the day are human. And if you give humans unchecked power, we abuse it. That's who we are. That's a lesson that we've known since the days of Babylon. So Flock isn't special. The other surveillance technologies aren't special. What's special is the power and the amount of data that is being collected right now that is available to individuals. And how we stop that is, one, we don't collect the data in the first place. That's the most important thing that we can do. But if we must collect this data, we have different mechanisms for transparency, auditing, and punishments for misuse.
Okay, we're going to go over... No, before I do this, I want to go... Just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, other misuse, right, of surveillance technology. Orange City, Florida, Sedgwick, Kansas, Breslton, Georgia, if I'm pronouncing that right. In Kansas and Georgia, it wasn't a beat cop. It was police chiefs that were busted for misusing the technology. And it just goes to the heart of, our police departments in America operate on trust us. We're worthy of your trust. Trust us. Wait a minute. It took me about 20 minutes of research to find that at least 3 police chiefs throughout the country have misused surveillance technology for their own goods. And it's always, it seems like almost always, a misuse by males looking to surveil their partners or their soon-to-be ex-partners or the exes of their current partners. It always has some romantic connection. I guess those are the only
person that an officer found attractive.
Yeah,
random stranger.
Exactly. Right. But that was also romantically, sexually related, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. And that is scary. The fact that women have to worry about, oh my God, are these security guards where I'm working cops? And is one of them going to find me attractive so much that they're illegally going to use this police database to search and find out not only where I live and all that stuff, but everywhere I go and the times I go there? That is just scary as hell. And when you take that in context, it kind of ruins the old, not that it hasn't been ruined for decades, trust us.
It does.
I've always been a proponent of the fact that you prove to us, like the city council should say, before you adapt any technology, give us all the science, prove it works. How are we going to evaluate it every year? What are the controls? And every year it has to be reapproved after it gets audited by the inspector general from the city or something. All these technologies should be that way.
Do you mind if I pitch something to you real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly what you're talking about. So the ACLU's affiliates and national across the country have been pushing this local ordinance called Community Control Over Police Surveillance, or CCOPS. I don't know if you've heard of CCOPS before, because what you described is exactly that. Basically, what CCOPS does is every existing surveillance technology that law enforcement within that jurisdiction is using, and all future surveillance technology that will ever be used, must come in front of the local elected officials that is their oversight, go to whatever is their equivalent of a public safety committee, and pitch why they need to use this technology. And then it gives people in the community a chance to say, hey, we don't want these surveillance technologies in our neighborhoods, or allows people in the community to say, hey, we're willing to give this a shot. We do want this if it actually has all the benefits of stopping crime that it claims it does. Most of the time, these surveillance technologies don't live up to their claims of stopping crime.